Hello everyone. What are you going to study for the exam? The final exam? Well, the final exam is a holistic exam. It means it covers everything we covered. In Unit 1, Lesson 1, you need to know about the definition of linguistics. You need to know what a linguist is and what a linguist does. And you need to know at least one representative of linguistics. You also need to know the difference between linguistics and grammar. And you need to know, Michael, you need to know the scope of linguistics, the different branches of linguistics. Finally, you need to know historical linguistics, which is two different approaches to study linguistics, synchronic and diachronic. Regarding lesson 2, you need to know and explain the different myths and misconceptions about language. You need to know why the statements are false, and you need to be able to explain what the correct linguistic form is. In lesson 3, you need to know the different features of languages, especially arbitrariness, which is kind of abstract. Yes. Also, you need to know a little bit about animal communication systems. In lesson 4, you need to know the history of linguistics from Panini, Plato, Aristotle, until nowadays with AI and technology. Okay, so the different stages of the history of linguistics. Also, you need to know the different theories about the origin of languages, both the genetic theories and the polygenetic theories. The experiments that were made to find the primeval language, those. In lesson 5, need to distinguish between prescriptive and descriptive grammar. You need to know what the lexicon is, what linguistic knowledge or linguistic performance and the difference between them are. And from lesson 5 onwards, they are practice exercises. In phonetics, you need to be able to write the phonetic stress mark, which is very important to locate it in the correct place in the syllable. In phonology, you need to be able to count sounds of any word just by placing numbers. In morphology, you need to be able to distinguish, to break words into morphemes, and also to distinguish the types of morphemes, free, bound, and the different types of free morphemes and the different types of bound morphemes, affixation, etc. In syntax, you need to be able to distinguish between subject and predicate. Yes, even in complex sentences, you need to know what the subject is and what the predicate is. Yes, and even in imperative sentences. Also, you need to be able to distinguish between phrase and sentence, and you need to be able to classify the phrases into either of the three different categories. In semantics, you need to, of course, know what semantics is, but also you need to be able to disambiguate, to explain ambiguity and also to classify it into any of the three types: lexical, structural, and phonological. And then in pragmatics, you need to be able to distinguish language functions, speech acts. In sociolinguistics, although your course book talks about color terminology, you need to be able to talk about taboo words and also euphemisms. Finally, in psycholinguistics, you need to be able to distinguish between aphasia and apraxia. Also, you need to distinguish between patients who suffer from Broca's aphasia and patients who suffer from Wernicke's aphasia. So all that, which is a lot of information, I suggest you to start reading now, going over the course book again now. That will be great. Okay, so that will be it for today. And next Thursday, I will upload a practice quiz that will cover everything so that you are ready for the final written exam. Okay? See you guys. I hope you have really have learned something about linguistics because it's a fascinating subject. See you then. Goodbye.